Hi, welcome to our 50th episode and welcome to a new episode of FYE. I'm excited because this episode just goes to show we have released 50 episodes since the inception of FYE. And I'm excited because apart from this being our 50th episode, this is our first YouTube video on this podcast. I'm excited because I have, after long and hard, should I? And I just said, you know what, let me just do it and let's see how things go. And I'm enjoying it. Um so here's the thing. What's today's episode about? I am talking about imposter syndrome and how to overcome it. So I would usually ask, like, do you feel like you're a fraud? So what's imposter syndrome about? So it's just basically you feeling like you're a fraud or a phony. And you know what's so funny? People who usually feel like that are people. It's so crazy because there are some people that are, they've achieved a lot and they still feel like that. So that's what even makes it crazy. They end up feeling like, oh, I'm a fraud. People are going to discover that I'm not as good as I'm showing myself to be with this thing that I'm doing. And I can remember starting FYE, I dealt with it so much. Those were part of even the reasons why I, took breaks at some point, because I used to feel like, oh yeah, I'm in the advertising industry basically, and I feel like it should have a certain standard, a certain way it's supposed to look and feel as a podcast. And yeah, so I dealt with that a lot. There are countless times I even thought of stopping the podcast because I was like, nah, people are not interested in all this that I'm doing. It's not that serious. It's not even nice. But the thing about imposter syndrome is like it deals with your self-confidence. It affects it in such a horrible way because you are doubting so many things about yourself and your skills and your achievements and your accomplishments as a person. And what I was even trying to say is, for imposter syndrome, I feel there are certain ways that you can know. So while I was doing my research for this topic, there's some questions I was seeing online and I could just like read them out. So do you feel like your success is through luck, or you're just a lucky person, or it's based off on external factors? Do you agonize the smallest flaws or mistakes? Like anything you do, like once there's a slight mistake, like do you nitpick on that? Are you sensitive about criticism? Do you feel like people will find out that you're a fake? I think that's like a major thing. People will be like, oh my god, this person is not really good at what they say they're good at. And do you downplay your achievements, or do you downplay your skills too? So I feel like that's a way, like if you ask yourself those questions, I feel like those are ways for you to know if you are dealing with imposter syndrome. And I think a great way to do that is talking to a professional about it, because there are certain things obviously you can tell your friends will always be there for you. That's the amazing about like good friends. But like also talking to a therapist and talking to a professional about your thoughts and your feelings about this would definitely help you. And another thing I would like to also talk about when it comes to imposter syndrome, because there are some certain things that actually cause it. So for example, like your personality, are you a perfectionist? Do you feel like there's a standard or there's a way in which things are supposed to be? Another thing too is like your upbringing. Like if you grew up in an environment where like you were a bit caged, or a bit shielded and guarded, also things like you were not given the opportunity to like take some risks and stuff, then self-doubt too is also a characteristic. So you doubt yourself so many things. You doubt your achievements, you doubt like self-doubt is obviously explanatory. Like you're doubting yourself on so many things, like the things you've done for yourself, things you've done for your career, things you've done for anything that concerns you. Like you experiencing self-doubt is also like a common factor of imposter syndrome. And when you also don't, see your skills as skills that are important, skills that are useful. That's another thing too. It's another characteristics of imposter syndrome. And there are obviously different ways in which you can tackle it. So for example, I spoke about speaking to a therapist about it. I'm also going to emphasize on the fact that do not let your feelings stop you from doing whatever you want to do, because by the time you start wallowing in that same emotion, in the end you tend to run away from things, tend to run away from trying new things, or even like trying your skills on different things. Another thing too that can help is also helping people. It gives you the opportunity to see that, oh, I'm actually good at this and I can actually help somebody with it. Helping other people too would be a good idea. And another thing, for you to even remind yourself, like writing down your achievements, writing down your skills, writing down things that you have achieved as an individual. It will help you too, just to give you like a reminder that, oh, I can actually do this, I'm actually badass at this. And I remember when I was starting FYE, I had to write down the things that we have achieved, and I'm so happy so far because it's still a growing podcast and it's still a growing thing for me. And looking at all the things that we have achieved, from growing our listens to trying new things on the podcast and making it better, making it look better, stuff like that, just making sure you're reminding yourself that, oh, I'm actually badass, I actually can do this, would also be a good thing for you to be able to overcome it. Like I said, talking to somebody, talking to friends, because friends tend to remind you of how amazing you are. So talking to a therapist too will also be good. And what other thing again? I think I wrote it down. So another thing to do that. So you can also decide to reduce the way you use social media. Like nobody's going to kill you for doing that, because social media also tends to add to it. Because you can feel like, oh, this person is doing so much, like come and see, like come and see. And when like you are seeing it, it would tend to make you feel bad about yourself and doubt your abilities. So you can decide not to use social media as much. Nobody's going to beat you for that. Another thing too you can do is stop comparing yourself. I know it's something that people say a lot, but like when you compare yourself to other people, you compare yourself to people that you follow, people that inspire you, sometimes you might want to say, oh, I would like to achieve this at so at the time, I would like to achieve this for myself. But like comparing yourself with others too would also like steal your joy and steal the good thoughts you have about yourself, because it tends to make you feel bad and doubt your abilities and your accomplishments. So I just want to use this episode to let you know that this is something that I have struggled with, still struggling with it. And honestly, I feel like everybody needs to hear it, because obviously I don't think there's anybody that has not gone through it. Maybe speaking from people I've spoken to, but like you would definitely tend to feel it. And just putting your thoughts and your feelings into the right things and doing the things that would help you not feel that way would just help you. And that's something I'm currently doing and constantly doing, because as FYE continues and as FYE continues to put out episodes and things I need to do on FYE, I'm reminding myself that I can actually do this. And fine, I might feel like I'm an imposter because I'm in the marketing industry, and I feel like it's just crazy because I'm in marketing and I feel my skills and my accomplishments in marketing, I should be able to, people will think that, oh, maybe she's not that good at her job, maybe that's why her podcast is like this. But just keep doing it and just keep pushing, because you got this. And this is our first video and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope there will be more to come. Enjoy the rest of your week and bye.